Hello everyone and welcome to class today. Today we'll be talking about decimal numbers and what they mean. Now a decimal number is simply a number between two whole numbers. Remember, we talked about whole numbers earlier on. A decimal number is simply a number between two whole numbers. Now, how do you identify a whole number? A decimal number, sorry. A decimal number is identified simply because it has a dot. It's called a decimal number. Okay, now, and this decimal number is usually in the middle of a number, or rather decimal point is usually in the middle of a number, and it changes or it gives every digit in that number its value. Remember in our last time we talked about place value, right? So decimal numbers, that decimal point gives each number its place value. Alright, now in this number, let's see, in this number 1, 2, 3, 1, 5, 8. What makes this a decimal number? Because of this, which we call a decimal point. Okay, now if I'm given this number and I'm told to find out how many decimal places are in this number, how will you find it out? You simply say the numbers, or rather the digits behind the decimal numbers are the decimal places. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So this number has how many decimal places? 3 decimal places. How did I get it? I have 3 numbers before it, or rather after the decimal point. Don't mind that we have 3 numbers in front. It can change at any time. For example, look at this number 315.12. Now, how many decimal places do we have here? Some will say 3. It is still 2. How did I know? We have 1, 2. 2 numbers behind the decimal point. Again, let's look at another number, 1.3459. Now, how many decimal places do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 decimal places. So this number has 4 decimal places. You can go on and on and on. You can try it out on your own. Now, you can try it out and see. Check several numbers. 3.152. It has 3 decimal places. 157.1. It has only 1 decimal place. Okay, so different numbers have different decimal places. I believe you have gotten that. Okay, now earlier on I mentioned that this decimal point, or these decimal points, gives each number here, gives them their place values. We're still on place values, remember? Gives them their place values. Now I can rub this off. Now let's pick a number. Let's pick one of the numbers we have just picked. We have just written down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 5, 9. Remember my decimal point here. Now, how do I know the place value of each digit here? I'll still use my simple method, but there'll be a slight difference. How? This number directly in front of my decimal point is unit. Remember we talked about starting with units, tens, hundreds, thousands, and all of that. So the number directly in front of the decimal point has the unit sign. Some people also call it ones sign. Okay. After units, the next we have is tens. The other we have is hundreds. How about after the decimal point? The number immediately after the decimal point is called the tenth. Tenth. We call it tenth number. The next one we call it the hundredth number. Hundredth with the THS. We'll see that. The next one is what? The thousandth. Thousandth place. So if I have a question and the question says give me the digits or the place value of the digits after the decimal point, this is how it will go. For 1, you have 1/10. if you notice a difference, number before the decimal point is in units, but the one immediately after the decimal point is starting with tenths. The next one, we have 5, is called 5 hundredths. Can you see it? There's a difference. Okay, for the 9, we have 9 thousandths. Can you see it? It keeps going down, down, down. The next one will be 10 thousandths. And it keeps going like that. But the ones before the decimal point are usually progressive. They are moving forward. Now, I'll give you a simple method or a simple information. Numbers before the decimal point increase by 10 with each place value. Increase by 10. But the ones immediately after the decimal point decrease by 10. Alright? Now, before I leave, let's do a little recap. Like I said, we talked about decimal, or rather, we're talking about decimal numbers. And decimal numbers, what simply makes a number a decimal number is simply the decimal point. And like I said, decimal numbers exist between two whole numbers. Okay? Now, this number, for example, you've been able to see that this is a decimal number. Why? Because it has a decimal point. Now, how many decimal places are here? It's simply that we'll count the number of digits behind the decimal points. Now, see, we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 decimal places. Okay? We have 3 decimal places. In the case where you don't have this 9, we'll just count 1, 2. We just have 2 decimal places. But here, we have 9. Now, someone asked a question. What are the place values of each of the digits in this decimal number? What do? You follow that simple method I have taught you earlier. Now, what did I say? For numbers before the decimal point, you put your unit sign. The number immediately before the decimal point, you use that simple unit sign. Okay, that's how we did it here. As usual, that's what we know. Alright, the next one is tens. We wrote it here. The next is what? Hundreds. Now let's leave it at that. How about numbers behind the decimal point? Numbers behind the decimal point decrease. The one immediately after the decimal point is called a tenth. With a THS. Tenth. Okay? So the first number after the decimal point, we have 1/10. The next one, we have 100, or rather 500, because it's in hundredths position. The next one is in the thousandths position, so we say 9 thousandths. Okay? Now, I give you a simple introduction of, should I say, method, or simple way of knowing these things. Every number before the decimal point increases. As it's moving towards the left, they are what? Increasing. Okay? As each number is moving towards the left, they are what? Increasing. But moving towards this way, they are what? Decreasing. As the numbers after the decimal points are moving towards the right, they are what? Decreasing. And how are they increasing? This is increasing by 10, and this is decreasing by 10, and this is increasing by 10. Alright, I believe we have learned a lot in our class today. So we'll see you in the next class. Have fun solving maths. Bye.